Hello students, welcome to the next lecture of magnetostatics, that is steady magnetic fields. In this lecture we are going to consider the new points, that is magnetic field due to current sheet and the concept of flux density B bar. So to derive we are going to derive an expression for magnetic field arising from an infinite current carrying sheet placed in xy plane. So for this let us consider an infinite sheet carrying a surface current K bar, which is given by Ky Ay in Ay direction, and the sheet is in infinite in length and size, and it is placed in xy plane. To enclose this sheet according to the Ampere's law, we have to consider an Amperian path which will enclose the sheet or small part of the sheet. So let us consider this Amperian path 1, 2, 3, 4, which is perpendicular to the sheet as shown in figure. Let B be the length of this path and A be the height of the path. The path is such that it will enclose a part of the current sheet. It is partly above the sheet and partly below the sheet. So consider this sheet in Z is equal to 0 plane. If the sheet has uniform current density, the sheet has uniform current density in y direction, and it is expressed by a letter K bar, which is given by Ky Ay cap. So according to the Ampere's law, we know that which can be applied to the closed path. We can say that closed integration of HDL is equal to I enclosed, but I is nothing but surface current density, that is Ky, multiplied by the length of the surface, that is B. So because this Ky is in ampere per meter and B is the length of the sheet, so if we multiply this current density by the length, then we will get I enclosed. So and that is also equal to H bar dot dl bar. Now we have to solve this integration, so we have to consider all four lengths of this sheet. So from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1, we have to consider all the lengths of the sheet. Now as the current loop as this loop is perpendicular to the current sheet, this 1 to 2, it is going towards minus az direction. From 2 to 3, it is going towards minus ax direction. From 3 to 4, it is going towards plus az direction, and from 4 to 1 again it is coming back to point 1 through plus ax direction. So plus ax and minus ax and plus az and minus az are the directions of the current. So we assume that this sheet is comprising of small filaments, that is DH, above and below the sheet due to pair of filamentary currents. Now, the resultant DH has only X component. Means what? So if you consider multiple such filaments, small, this is only part of the infinite sheet, and we have enclosed it using one filament. There can be multiple such filaments like this placed at infinite distances as shown in this figure. See here. So here we have shown multiple filaments which can be placed some apart from each other, and they can enclose, they can carry small part of the in magnetic field intensity dH bar, and if you integrate all dH together, then you will get complete H. So for the first filament or for the first current loop, Az is going downward, this Az is going upward, Ax is going in this direction, and this is minus X. So similar to this, there is another filament where there is one Az going in downward direction here. So these two Az, one is plus, another is minus, so they will cancel each other. Here also the same case will be there, and so on. So all the Az components are cancelling each other, and only Ax component, see this Ax, and this X, they can be added. But above the xy plane, they can be added, and below the xy plane all the components are negative. So we have to consider two parts for this to find out h above the xy plane and h below the xy plane. So that is why here h can be divided into two regions: h naught ax cap for z greater than 0 means above the xy plane, and minus h naught ax cap, minus ax cap into h naught, that is which is because of z which is less than 0 or below the xy plane. So what is h naught we have to first determine, and then we can find out the HDL. So due to infinite extent of the sheet, it can be regarded as consisting of filamentary pairs, so that the characteristics of H for a pair are same for the infinite current sheet. So we will integrate the HDL. So to integrate HDL, we have to consider all four paths from 1 to 2 HDL, 2 to 3 HDL, plus 3 to 4 HDL, plus 4 to 1 HDL. So for 1 to 2, what is H? H is going in downward direction. So it is 0, and the DL length is minus A, because this vertical size is going in downward direction, so it is considered as negative. This size is A. Then next from 2 to 3, see here, from 2 to 3, from 2 to 3 it is minus AX, and then and there is H naught. So the length of that is minus B, and the magnetic field intensity is minus H naught. Then for the third element from 3 to 4, H is 0, okay, because H has a AZ component, so it is, there is no AZ component, there are only X components we have to consider. So H is 0, the length is A. Again from 4 to 1, again from 4 to 1, there are plus X components, plus X plus H naught into X components, so H naught, and the length of that DL path is B. So after, so it is just H naught AX cap into B into AX cap, so that's why it is just magnitude multiplication here. So if I add all those things together, then 2 into H naught B will come as the answer of HDL. So if we compare equation number 1 and equation number 3, equation number 1 says that HDL is equal to KY into B, and equation number 3 says that HDL is equal to 2H naught into B. So after equating this, we'll get H naught is equal to 1 half into KY. So that is the final expression, and we can write using equation 2 and 4 as, we know that we have divided H into two parts, one is upper and the other one is lower. So it is 1 half ky ax cap for z greater than 0, and it is minus half ky ax cap z for z less than 0. So in general we can write this expression for an H due to infinite current density k bar as H bar is equal to 1 half k bar in cross an cap, 1 half k bar cross an cap, where an cap, now this ax cap is what? It is a, it is perpendicular vector, perpendicular unit vector. So let us consider the next example based on this current density due to sheet. Consider a plane at y equal to 1 carries a current density of k bar is, which is equal to 40 az cap ampere per meter. Find h at a 0 0 0 and b 1 5 minus 2. So here one current density, that is k bar, is given, sheet current density is given, and that current density is 40 az cap, and that 40 az cap means it is in az direction. So we have to find out h at a 0 0 0 means origin, and at point b, that is 1 5 2. But the plane that which is carrying current is placed at y equal to 1. So the plane, so the plane look like this. in XYZ system, we place a plane at y equal to 2, at y equal to 1, and for the first, so because of this plane we have to find out h at origin, that is at 0 0 0, means at this point, and at another point p 1 comma 5 comma 2. So let us concentrate first point, that is at origin. So according to the expression, we have derived an expression for infinite current density, h due to infinite current density. So that expression tells that h is equal to 1 half k bar into a n cap, where a n cap is what? It is a unit vector normal to the current sheet, and it must be directed towards point where you want to find the h bar. So in the first case, in the first problem, we want to find out intensity at point a 0 0 0. So this point a is at origin, so the an cap vector should indicate in this direction. So it is normal to this current sheet and it is going towards minus ay direction, right? So this an cap, we can write it as minus ay cap. So in this expression, we put an cap is equal to minus ay cap, and k bar is already given, that is equal to 40 az cap. Now we have to take the cross product of these two equations. So it is equal to az cross ay. Forget about the minus sign, you can keep minus sign as it is. Az cross ay is what? It is reverse. So we have to go to a, so we'll get minus ax cap. Only az cross ay is minus ax cap, and this minus, and already there is minus, so it will get plus. So it will be 1 half into 40 into az cross ay is equal to minus ax, and already minus sign is there, so it will become plus ax cap. So total it will become 20 ax cap ampere per meter. That's it. In this way we can find out intensity in two simple steps. Now the next point they have given is b, and that point is having 1, x is equal to 1, y is equal to 5, and z is equal to minus 2. Now the point is in front of the sheet towards the plus ay direction. The point, this point b is towards the plus ay direction. So we have to go from this sheet, we have to go towards this point. So we have to indicate this an cap in this case is plus ay cap. So for second point, why in the, because in the point c, in the point y he is having a value of 5. This means, and this sheet is at y equal to 1. This means the point is in front of the sheet towards positive ay side. So if we want an cap, it will be plus ay cap, normal to the sheet and pointing towards point b. So what is h now? H is equal to 1 half k bar into an cap. So 1 half is there, 40 az k is given, and cross ay cap. Now az cross ay, we already know that it is minus ax, so it is minus 20 ax cap ampere per meter. So because of this current sheet, the magnetic field is divided into two parts. One is positive, this side is, it will give positive magnetic field, and the other side it will give negative magnetic field. This way we can solve any example based on the current sheet. Let us discuss the next parameter of magnetic field, that is a very important parameter, that is magnetic flux density. The magnetic flux density B is similar to the electric flux density. So it is flux divided by area, or magnetic flux divided by area. Therefore, the magnetic flux density B bar is related to the magnetic field intensity H by the relation B bar is equal to mu naught into H bar, where mu naught is a constant and it is known as permeability of the free space. Magnetic field density is a number of magnetic flux line passing through a cross sectional area, unit cross sectional area in meter square. And now the unit of mu naught is here, Henry per meter, and mu naught is having value, mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 Henry per meter. The magnetic flux crossing through a surface S is given by. Now this is one more important relation where psi is called as magnetic flux. So psi is equal to surface integration of B bar dot ds bar, because B bar is flux per unit area multiplied by area will give us only flux. So this is the relation which indicates flux psi is equal to double integration of B bar dot ds bar. Now, B bar is the magnetic flux and it is a vector quantity. It is measured in Weber per meter square. So, unit of magnetic flux density is Weber per meter square or Teslas, and ds in this equation is in meter square. It is also a vector quantity. So, when you multiply B bar and ds bar, both are vector quantities, you will get a scalar value, and that is nothing but the flux. So, let us denote some points about this magnetic flux. So we know that magnetic flux lines arise just like when we place an infinite current carrying filament. Magnetic field is surrounding that current carrying filament. H intensity will be surrounding the current carrying filament. So similar to that, flux density B bar is also surrounding the filament, and it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. That depends upon the direction of the current. Now in this figure, the current is coming outside the paper. So this figure, same figure is considered from the top view. So the current is coming out of the paper, and the flux density lines are in anti-clockwise direction. If the current is going inside the paper, then the flux density lines are in clockwise direction. So each magnetic flux line is a closed path with no beginning and no end, and are also not crossing each other. See here, all the paths are closed. But in electrostatic, we studied that the flux crossing through a closed surface is same as charge enclosed. By Gauss law, we know that surface closed surface integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to charge q enclosed. So how much, whatever the charge enclosed in a closed surface, that much amount of flux will cross through that surface, closed surface. Thus it is possible to have isolated electric charge. So if there is not necessary that this surface must be closed, the flux can pass through an open surface. So this means electric charge can be kept as an isolated part. So electric flux line, this what does it mean? The electric flux lines are not necessarily closed. They will not originate from plus q charge, and they will not terminate always in minus q charge. Only plus q charge can generate flux lines, and then they can go in omnidirection. So this is shown by the Gauss law. But in magnetostatic, this is not the case. In magnetostatics, magnetic flux lines are always closed. They will originate at n pole and they will terminate at s pole always. And hence we cannot separate n pole and pole from each other. So it is not possible to isolate magnetic poles. This means an isolated magnetic charge does not exist, and so the total flux crossing a closed surface, so whatever charge which will go out from the closed surface, so if this circle is a closed surface, whatever flux lines that are going outside the closed surface is equal to flux lines coming inside the surface. This means total flux lines through this surface is equal to 0. This means closed integration of b bar dot ds bar is 0. This means total flux crossing a closed surface in a magnetic field must be 0. Closed integration of b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0. If this integration is open, then we can have some value of flux. But if this integration is closed, then it means that the surface is closed in from all directions, so it will become some closed volume, and for that volume the total flux enclosed will be 0. This equation is also known as the law of conservation of magnetic flux, or it is also known as Gauss law for magnetostatic fields. So you have to remember this Gauss law for magnetostatic field. So this is Gauss law for magnetostatic field. Closed integration of b bar dot ds bar is equal to 0. We are going to use this equation in Maxwell's equation chapter. Magnetostatic field is also conservative, but magnetic flux is conserved. So by divergence theorem, similar to electrostatic, we can apply divergence theorem to magnetostatics also. So in electrostatics, we know by divergence theorem is closed integration of d bar dot ds bar is equal to q enclosed, and that is also equal to triple integration of rho v dv, right? So similar to that, we can apply same formula for BDS. So it is surface integration, so closed surface integration of B bar dot ds bar is which is also 0, and it is also equal to del dot B into dV. There we have expressed in electrostatic, we have expressed this as del dot D into dV, but here we are going to express it as del dot B bar into dV, where small dV, this small dV is volume, and this is the divergence of B. So we can apply divergence theorem to magnetic field also. And what the final value comes out to be, as this total both the integrations are equated to 0, we can write del dot B or del dot B bar is equal to 0. So this is point form of this equation is also known as point form of Gauss law applied to the magnetic field, and this is one of the Maxwell's equation. Generally it is a fourth equation in Maxwell's chapter. So this equation suggests that magnetostatic fields have no source or sinks. There is no source, there is no sinking, so magnetic flux lines are always continuous. They will start at one end and they will close at the same end, and they are continuous. So based on this formula, BDS is equal to psi. We are going to see one example based on this expression. So let us see the example. In cylindrical coordinates, B bar is equal to 2 divided by R A phi cap. Find the flux crossing through the plane surface defined by R is in between 0.5 to 2.5 meters and Z is in between 0 to 2 meters. So for this, how the surface will look like, they have said that the system is cylindrical coordinate system. So it is a part of cylinder. This surface, whatever the surface they have given, is a part of cylinder. So they have given that R is changing between 0.5 to 2 point and Z is changing between 0 to 2. This means it is phi equal to constant surface. Why? Because in cylindrical coordinate system, there is one parameter is R, second parameter is z, and third parameter is phi. Phi is not given here, phi is not changing, and so it is a phi equal to constant surface. So how the phi equal to constant surface look like? If we slice the cylinder, we will get a square like shape like this, and if I took the part of this square shape, it will look like this, because R is started at 0.5, the radius has started at 0.5 and it is ended at 2.5. So this part is change in radius. Also z is started at 0 and it is ended at 2. So this is the change in z. So if I close this part, I will get a square surface. Now I want to find out flux crossing through this entire square surface, right? So I will take small area of this surface and I will call that small area as ds. And what is the equation for that ds? Because what is flux? What is the equation to find out the flux? Flux psi is equal to surface integration of B bar dot ds bar. But what is ds bar here? It is change in R and change in Z. So it is dr into dz, and it is phi equal to constant surface. So a phi cap is attached to it. So this is the equation for that small surface area in cylindrical coordinate system. ds bar is equal to dr dz into a phi cap, and b bar is already given to us 2 divided by r into a phi cap. So in this, as per this equation, we have to take the dot product of these two quantities. So let us take the dot product. So phi is equal to double integration. Surface integration is always a double integration. So double integration of 2 upon r into a phi cap dot dr dz into a phi cap. Now a phi cap and a phi cap dot product is there, so it is equal to 1. So we can write 2 0 divided by r into dr into dz. So we can apply integration to separate terms. Let us take 2.0 divided by r into dr, and the limits for r are from 0.5 to 2.5. Similarly, we can integrate dz separately, and the limits are 0 to 2, right? So this 2 is outside the integration. 1 upon r dr, integration of 1 upon r dr is natural log of r. The limits are 0.5 to 2.5, and integration of dz is z, the limits are 0 to 2. So if we put the values of the limits, then we'll get 2 into bracket natural log of 2.5 minus natural log of 0.5 into limits of z are 2 and minus 0. So the final value of phi, that is flux, is equal to 6.4377 Webers. So this flux is measured in Webers. In electrostatic, the flux was measured in coulombs, and it is indicated by the sign phi. Here we have to indicate the flux in magnetostatics by the term psi. Psi is measured in Webers, remember. We are going to apply Ampere's law to a small closed loop. Thereby, we are going to derive an expression of del cross H, that is curl of H. So let us see how it is applied. So consider a magnetic field H evaluated at point shown in figure. So here at the center of this loop, we are going to find out magnetic field intensity. So for this, we consider a closed path 1, 2, 3, 4, making appropriate adjustment in values of H along the segment. So H is circulated around this closed path. So for every segment, there is a H value. So this path is placed in, say, xy plane, or maybe above the xy plane. So let delta x and delta y be the lengths of this path, and H at the center will have some kind of equation, like at the center the H will have hx naught into ax cap plus hy naught into ay cap plus hz naught into az cap. Along the lengths, the magnetic field intensity will have the axial component, that is hx or hy, etc. Here the objective is to take the closed path integral of h and dl and ultimately obtain the point form of Ampere's law. So we are going to circulate this h along this closed path, and we will apply Ampere's law, that is integration of h dot dl is equal to I, and we are going to obtain the point form of Ampere's law. So along path 1 to 2, this path is change in y. So we are calling this length as delta y. So if I take h, and if I take the dot product of del h and the length of this path, that is delta y, then I will get h bar dot dl bar for path 1 to 2 is equal to, along this path, let h will have a component of hy. So it is hy for path 1 to 2 into delta y. This intensity will have a component of hy ay cap, and this length is expressed as delta y into ay cap. So hence the dot product will become, so ay direction dot product is there, so it will become hy into delta y, where hy for 1 to 2 is equal to, but this hy is not because of this loop part only. It is because it has to be considered this h naught, which is present at the center. So at the center there is hy naught, and then there is a displacement of hy along delta y through a distance of delta x. So this means, see, this distance is this much distance is delta x divided by 2, and so this hy naught hy component is displaced from the center towards this point and by a distance of delta x by 2. So this is rate of change of uh, hy component with respect to distance multiplied by distance. So in the hy12 we have to consider original component at the center, that is hy naught, plus displacement from the center of hy component. So that is equal to dou hy by dou x plus 1 half delta x. So this will be total hy component along the path 1 and 2. Okay, so if I consider this part in equation 1, let us call this as equation number 1. So let us call this as first equation, equation number 1. So if I put this as equation number 2, and so if I put this equation number 2 in equation number 1, then I will get what? H dot delta L is equal to this part, whole part, multiplied by this delta y part. So similarly, we are going to apply this kind of evaluation to each and every length or each and every part of this total filament. So for consider the similar part of 3 to 4. So if I apply H dot delta L for this part from 3 to 4, it is again it will have a hy naught component because hy naught is at the center, and then hy is displaced from the center by a distance of delta x by 2, but this component is going towards negative y direction, so we have to consider that as minus of dou hy by dou x into delta x divided by 2, and because of that minus sign, if I add it to the hy naught component, then it will become hy naught plus minus of 1 half dou hy by dou x into delta x, right? So this is the h component, and if I multiply this h component by dou delta L, what is delta L for this path? It is minus delta y into ay cap, because this direction is opposite to y axis. So it is minus delta y ay cap. So that minus sign is coming here. So that HDL, H dot delta L for 3 to 4 length is equal to, total it is equal to hy naught minus 1 half dou hy by dou x into delta x into minus of delta y. Now next let us consider the next path, that is path from 2 to 3. Now for this path, what is the length? The length is delta x. For this path, the length is delta x. Now this path is going towards negative x axis. So h for this path is what? Hx naught plus partial derivative of hx with respect to y, partial derivative of hx, because this conductor has been displaced through a length which is equal to delta y divided by 2, because this length is equal to delta y divided by 2. So this conductor is displaced by a distance of delta y by 2. Therefore this intensity will become hx naught plus 1 half dou hx by dou y into delta y divided by 2. So that is h component, and we have to take the dot product of this h component with delta L, that is length. So what is length equation? What is delta L equation for this path? Delta L is equal to it is delta x into ax cap, but it is minus, so it is minus delta x ax cap. So that's why the minus sign is coming here. Now that ax component and this ax component will cancel each other, so will be equal to 1. So this total h dot delta L is equal to hx naught plus 1 half dou hx by dou y into delta y into minus of delta x. Similar to this, there is one more path from 4 to 1, but for this path, what is delta L? The length equation, it is delta x into ax cap plus ax cap. What is h for this path? It is hx naught, which is present at the center. That hx is displaced by a distance of delta y by 2 towards negative y-axis. So it will become hx naught minus 1 half dou hx by dou y into delta y by 2. And if this is multiplied by that delta L, that is delta x into x cap, so total x into, so this part is into x cap and delta x into x cap. So after dot product, ax dot x is equal to 1 and we will get this equation. So all h dot dl we have to add to apply the Ampere's law, because Ampere's law states that close the line integral of HDL. So according to Ampere's law, closed line integral of HDL is equal to I. We know it. So for this we have to add all h dot delta L for path 1 to 2, h dot delta L for path 2 to 3, plus h dot delta L for path 3 to 4, plus h dot delta L for 4 to 1. So after adding all those things, we will get this equation: dou hy by dou x minus dou hx by dou y into delta x into delta y. That is the result. So by Ampere's law, the closed path integral of H is equal to enclosed current, approximated in this case by current density at the center multiplied by loop area. So instead of writing I in this case, we will write in terms of current density. So if I write the current density for this area, then that is equal to J component, and that current density is going in upward direction, so it is Jz into the area of this loop is delta x into delta y. So that ultimately is equal to the current, because it is going out of the plane. As H is circulated in this plane, the current is obviously going out of the plane. So hence we can write current density into area. So if I take this delta x divided by delta x y to this side, then it is equal to closed integration of HDL divided by delta x into delta y is equal to this bracket, that is dou hy by dou x minus dou hx by dou y is equal to Jz. So we have taken delta x by delta y common and we have divided each part of this above equation by delta x by delta y. So if we take the limits, as delta x and delta y both are tending to 0, means if this current loop is accumulated at this point, then it will become limit as delta x delta y tends to 0, integration of HDL divided by delta x divided by delta y is equal to dou hx by dou hy by dou x minus dou hx by dou y is equal to Jz. The same exercise, now we have considered the Jz component and we have considered delta x and delta y parts, that is the loop is present in xy plane. So same can be applied for a rectangular loop in other orthogonal orientations, means loop can be placed in xz plane or it can be placed in zy plane. So similar to that, we can place the loop and we can get this kind of expression. If the loop is present in yz plane, we are getting limit as delta y delta z tends to 0, integration of HDL divided by delta y delta z is equal to dou hz by dou y minus, so z is third component divided by second component, so it is dou hz divided by dou y minus dou hy by dou z. As y is in the numerator and z is in the denominator, the minus sign we have to consider. So like that we can remember this expression is equal to jx. Now x is not available here, so j will have x term, right? So similar to this, for if the loop is present in xz plane, we'll get this expression for jy. And uh, we already seen this formula for xy plane. So if we add this formulae, because total j is equal to what? Total j is equal to what? Jx ax cap plus jy ay cap plus jz az cap. So we can add these three parts together. So the exercise tells us rectangular coordinate representation of curl. So this term, limit of delta x delta y tends to 0 hdl divided by delta x delta y, or is expressed in this form, and that is called as curl of h. What the curl of h indicates, that the curl of a vector quantity is another field that is normal to the original field. The curl component in n direction, that is normal to the plane of integration loop, is given by limit as delta Sn tends to 0, Sn means surface area tends to 0, integration of h dot dl divided by that surface area, where delta Sn is what? Planar area enclosed by closed line integral. The direction of n is taken using the right hand convention. So whatever we'll get by this expression is called as curl of h, or it is also expressed as del cross h bar. This is known as curl of h. So what the curl of h tells is, if you circulate any vector field through a closed path, and if that path encloses a surface area, and if that surface area tends to 0 or it shrinks, then whatever we will get is known as curl of h. We are going to see what is the physical meaning of this. So after applying curl of h and assembling all the components, because here jx ax jy ay jz az we are going to add together, so these parts we have to add dou hz by dou y minus dou hy by dou z. So all these equations we have to add at the right hand side. So after adding all these things, we will get curl of h. So that becomes the equation like this. And so this equation can be expressed in matrix form as ax cap ay cap az cap dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z, hx, hy, hz. If you solve this matrix, you will get same equation as above. So these two equations, those two solutions are same, and the right hand side is what? Curl of h. So what is curl of h? It is expressed as del cross h. This operator you have seen in the first chapter. So curl of h is given in other systems, like in cylindrical system and in spherical system are given by these two equations. So we have to remember these equations permanently. So for cylindrical system, del cross h is given by 1 upon rho or 1 upon r, you can call it as dou hz by dou phi minus dou h phi by dou z into ar cap plus dou hr by dou z minus dou hz by dou r into a phi cap plus 1 upon r or 1 upon rho dou into or partial derivative of r into h phi divided by with respect to dou r minus 1 upon r dou hr by dou phi whole bracket into az cap. So similar to that, this expression is for cylindrical
spherical
system.
system.
R sin theta is common here. So for solving any example here, for example, here we have to first multiply by r to h phi, then take its partial derivative with respect to r, then again we have to multiply it by 1 upon r, and then this minus sign and the second part, and then you have to apply az cap. So this much long procedure is there to find out del cross